Rapper T.I. was on a podcast sometime last week. Everybody talking about it. It is all over the internet. If y'all on the internet, I don't know how you don't know this story already, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. So rapper T.I. goes on somebody's podcast. It's two women. I don't know what it's called. They took it down already, so you ain't gonna be able to hear it. I'm sure there's a clip somewhere out there, like a soundbite or something, but he's on his podcast, and at some point they get to a conversation about him and his daughter, Deja. Deja is not Tiny's child. Let's all be very clear. Now, I know that she says it's her child because they are, a blended family, but technically, Deja has another mom. Like, literally, not even technically. Literally, Deja has a mom that is not Tiny. But they have blended, most of these blended children are T.I.'s children from other relationships. Then Tiny has one daughter from a different relationship. And then they have 3 children together. The younger 3 children together. Major, King, and Eris. Okay? T.I. goes on the show to talk about his daughter Deja, who I believe now is 18. He said that since she was 16, he's been going to the gynecologist with her to check and see if her hymen is still intact. It has been crazy on the internet. It's like everybody's talking about. I'm sure if you go to like 3 more podcasts, you're going to hear them talking about T.I. and his daughter in this hymen situation. And everybody is having this same conversation about, oh, he's toxic. This is a toxic man. This is toxic masculinity. He's abusive. That's, invasion of her body. And the doctor shouldn't even be telling him this information. All of those things. That is a conversation that we could have, but that ain't the conversation that we will have today. Because I want to talk about something else that is even more important to me. Maybe not more important, because, whatever your opinion is about this man and his daughter and them going to the doctor together is important. But this thing is important to me. That story was not a story to tell the nation, like the us's of the world, the we's, the they's. He shouldn't have told that story. When you have a child who is 18, I believe that he said that she was in college right now. I remember that she put out a post when she turned 18 to speak about, how nasty some of these grown men are that have been waiting for her to turn 18, meaning that they've been watching a child, waiting for her to become legal so they can try to put their nasty, grubby little hands on her. So I know that she is 18. I believe she's in college now. This is a person. Like, T.I. wasn't speaking about, a figment of our imagination or a character or something. This is his actual child who now has to deal with the aftermath of what her father said. And this is the issue that I wanted to talk about. Is like, sometimes we telling stories that ain't our stories to tell just because we are involved in the story. Just because we are involved in the story does not mean it is always ours to give out. That story about his daughter and what her vagina is doing was not his story to tell. He is a person inside of that story. And so if you want to talk to your friends, maybe. But the internet, which is like the galaxy, yeah, like, because, like, maybe there's some aliens. I don't know if there's aliens. If there are aliens, maybe they listen to the podcast and they heard this. I don't know. But, like, he done told the whole galaxy about his daughter's vagina. And do we all need to know what her virginity looked like? Do we all need to know whether or not she is one, or whether or not her father believes she won, or whether or not her hymen is intact? I mean, who talking about hymens in 2019? Seriously, T.I., as a man, what are you doing? But I have 3 daughters. I don't think that I have ever had a conversation with anyone about their hymens. Like, why? What is that? That's not my story to tell. That's their personal business. I think a lot of times we get caught and locked into telling people's personal business, which is just completely unfair. I have a friend who is homosexual, and all the time, my friend all the time would say, they would tell me that they were involved with other people, but then would say, but I can't tell you the names of these other people because that's not my story to tell. And then would say to me, even though you know my sexual preference, I don't want you to tell other people. Like, I don't want you to out me to other people. And there's no reason why I should, because that is not my story to tell. It's not my story to tell about somebody else's sexual preference, even though it could come up in conversation. I could say something like, I could be like, yeah, me and my friend so-and-so and their girlfriend so-and-so now, but I would be talking to people who don't deserve that type of information, only because if they did, they would have it. And so we lose track of giving out other people's information because we feel like, oh, we got a juicy story to tell. And see, that's what happened with T.I. T.I. felt like he was comfortable in that space. He felt like this space was safe enough to open his lips and say something. These women made a joke about it. Like, they were joking about it, laughing about it. And then they got a lot of backlash about it because they were laughing about a story that they should not have heard. And then they made very light of that situation. Whereas a lot of women felt like this is when those women, the co-hosts of the show, should have jumped in and said, like, whoa, I think we're going too far. Like, you doing what? I don't know if I think that's cool. Like, I don't like that. And that's where we ran, and that's where those women ran into some backlash. I mean, it was really bad because, like I said, they had to shut that episode down. You can't find it. When you have friends or even your children, there is a time when, like, you have children and your children can, like, there's stories that you want to tell them. So you call, like, your mama and you call, like, your best friend and be like, girl, let me tell you, I can't believe that little poo-poo then said, did whatever, right? And that's cool, but there are some other things that you have to keep to yourself. Being the mother of 5, I know that I have heard time and time again, Mom, I'm about to tell you something, but you can't tell. Like, you can't tell Miss Summer. You can't tell Grandma. Like, you can't tell Mr. Vaughn. Like, that, you get those kind of things because they are saying, like, I'm about to tell you a story that involves either me or somebody who I ain't even supposed to be talking about. So this is a story that you cannot tell. And because my kids know a lot of stuff that happens, I'm going to talk to either my mama or I'm going to talk to my best friend about them. Like, yeah, that's going to happen. Like, I'm having the conversation, okay? And when my kids start popping off at the lip or whatever, I'm going to call her like, girl, Cameron was stripping last night. She gonna have the nerve to say, and I'm gonna tell that story. That's my story to tell. That disrespect belongs to me. I'm telling it. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm telling that. However, if there's something going on at my child's gynecologist appointment, I ain't about to call nobody and be like, let me tell you about Cameron's vagina. Like, that's crazy. And so to go on a thing, and I think a lot of us do that. A lot of us, not me, because I definitely don't do, but a lot of people will do it where they will go on the internet, Facebook, and they will start to talk about people's business that ain't theirs to tell. Just because you were in a space and you know a thing does not mean that it's a thing that you are supposed to spread to the masses. You got to sometimes you got to just shut your mouth. You got to learn how to shut it on up. Shut it on up. Sometimes you be like, oh, I want to say something so bad. man, I want to say something so bad, but I can't say it because I already know it ain't my story to tell. There are some things that you have to just keep under wraps. One, your people's health information. That's why they got the whole HIPAA laws. It's like, because your health information ain't the story to tell from nobody. Like, nobody else should be spreading your health stuff around to anybody. The hospital ain't supposed to be spreading it. Your mama ain't supposed to be spreading it. Your best friend ain't supposed to be spreading it. Like, that's something that should not happen because it is private. My sexual preferences are not for anybody else to know. And my sexual escapades are not the story of everybody else to tell. Yours, if I know yours, it ain't for me to start passing my, like, oh, you know she did this, or you know he did that, or like, that's not my business to tell. Even if I know it, even if you have made it my business that I know it, it is not my business to pass on, because it's not even a story that involves me. What else? I think that, like, if there is some kind of family situations, they're not really like your stories to tell. And when I mean family situations, like if somebody's mother and father is getting a divorce, it's not really for like any of the cousins or uncles or whatever to start telling other people, like, you know, Shirley and Bob getting a divorce, girl, because I'm not racist. That's not your story to tell. That's their story. Because what if they don't get a divorce? What if they work it out? What if they just figure it all out and they just go from there? And they're just like, guess what? We happily in love again. You done told 25 people that they getting a divorce, and people's looking like, y'all happily in love. I thought y'all was breaking up. Then you like, who told y'all that? I'm trying to figure out, because we ain't really told a bunch of people we was even having troubles. You know, it's not your story to tell. What else is a story that ain't yours? I think that anything that got to do with your kids, that's personal. Like, if your child gets her heart broken, or your son get his heart broken, because that is a thing, you don't need to start calling everybody around the town like, guess what? That little trollop broke up with my baby. Your son don't want everybody to know that. Your daughter don't want everybody to know that. Like, that's not something that we spread and tell other people. But we tend to feel like, because we know a thing, we are allowed to tell it. And that happens so much on social media. That's here's a big one. This is a big one that y'all as the internet, I'm just saying, y'all really just think that you can do this. When somebody pass away, y'all will be up on that daggone internet talking about rest in peace, rest in heaven, open the gates, Lord, to somebody that they family ain't even really had a chance to get the knowledge of. You want to be the first one to post that you knew somebody died. That's not your business to tell. Until you see that person's family posting about them, you should not post a thing about somebody's death. Okay? Now, I know I guess it's probably a different rule about celebrities, because we don't really know a lot of the celebrity family to see if they posting about it. Usually the general rule is if TMZ puts it up there, we spreading it around. And sometimes y'all spreading it and they've been dead for forever, because y'all good for that. And I swear, y'all are good to spread some deaths, some celebrity deaths of people who done died 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago. It don't make no sense to me, but okay. I think somebody the other day posted a post that said Sherman Hemsley passed away, and I'm like, Sherman Hemsley been died. Like, what we talking about? But okay, whatever. There is the truth. Like, let's be serious again. If somebody passed away, and that is like a friend of yours, or a co-worker, or the lady at the turnpike, or the CVS worker, cashier person that you have a little connection with, or somebody you used to date on the low, if you find out they passed away, you should not post so that you could immediately put it up there. You gonna get the same my condolences and I'm praying for you tomorrow. Honestly. You will not feel any better if you post it immediately. It ain't gonna make you cry less. You can wait a day. At least, like, let the cousins find out some other way, other like the phone call, other than, oh, I saw it on Chi Chi's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, I don't know, y'all put it Twitter, y'all put it everywhere. The old MySpace page, they opened it back up because they used to have a great MySpace page back in the day, so everybody opened up their MySpace pages and posted on there too. I don't know, but stop doing it. It ain't your story to tell. Just because you know somebody don't mean it's time for you to go ahead on and post about their deaths. Here's another one that y'all do about posting about some stuff that ain't your business, okay? And maybe this isn't your business, but sometimes like you're not checking the story to find out whether or not if it's a story that needs to be told. Missing children. Should we be posting that children are missing? Yes. Are we posting that children are missing? Most of the time, no. Most of the time, what we are doing is seeing that there's a little tagline that says it only take 1 minute, it only takes 7 seconds, it only take 22 seconds to share. And so you just hurry up and hit share. But if you tap on that picture, you will find out that this is a child that went missing 3 months ago, sometimes 2 years ago, and they have been found. And so it's a little bit creepy that you got other people's kids that are like vulnerable kids that are like abused most of the time, that are, you know, in some way at-risk youth on your page. Like, you just want to have a bunch of at-risk youth because you ain't looking for none of them, because you ain't read the story to see what you should even be looking for. Because I know you didn't, because if you would have read the story, you would have known that that child was found, and you shouldn't put those people's baby on your picture, but on your page. But, you know, we're going to keep on going. It ain't your story to tell that there are vulnerable children out here, but I know we feel like we should. All I'm saying is, was T.I. wrong in talking about his daughter? Was T.I. wrong in going to his daughter's gynecologist appointments? I don't think so. I think that could be a healthy thing for a father to drop his daughter off at the gynecologist. Was T.I. wrong for telling his daughter to sign paperwork so that he could find out whether or not her hymen was in check? That ain't my child. That ain't my husband. That ain't my baby daddy. And because I don't have a lot of expertise in seriously co-parenting, I don't really know what dads do. I don't know what any of that is. I'm not gonna I'm gonna try not to form an opinion, because I just don't have any understanding of how fathers parent. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't. So I don't have an opinion about that. But talking about his daughter, like, this girl has to go to school. There are people now who are going to say lots of things, and there have been, because apparently she has been like liking some of the tweets and things. This gives cause to a number of people to then, like, first of all, a number of people going to try to jump in and have like an opinion about what they felt like their situations, or how their father should have or didn't or could have treated them. And this ain't even gonna be about that poor little 18-year-old girl trying to just live and learn life all of a sudden. And so, like, she just now is going to be a character instead of an actual person now. And like, we're all talking about it because he spoke about this girl, and it was unnecessary because it just wasn't his story to tell. Y'all gotta be real careful about what you're talking about and who you're talking to about the information. Like, what are you giving out? Are you sure that you're keeping people safe? If there's something that somebody knows about you, Should everybody else know that thing? And if there's something that you know about other people, should anybody else know that thing? Because just because you are a part of the story doesn't mean that it is your story. And so because it is not your story, it is not yours to tell. And you got to learn how to keep something sacred in between you and they. That's just me. And I'm just saying.